The other thing probably, I haven't covered a little bit, is it's not all about pulling the mouth about. There's certain amounts of pressure on the mouth, but when I turn, it's a lot to do with my legs. And a lot of people do try to ride just off the mouth, but you should turn with your legs as well. As I'm turning there, I hold him up with my inside rein, but I also push him round with that leg to turn right, and I hold him up with my inside leg, which is quite important. And the other thing, when you turn him back, if you don't have a stride, just take the canter pole out the way, Claire. If you don't have a stride, you've either got to go to make a better distance, or you've got to make a little bit more room, and that comes from your legs, not from the hands, because if you just hold him, he'll keep on the same pace. So if I was going to turn back here, and I don't have a distance here, well then I've got to make him stay out like that, so I can turn back. So it's really important that they go off your legs. I don't know what he's doing now. So I'd be looking at the fence, maybe I haven't got a stride, I'd hold him up, then I'll decide I've got a stride. It should work on both reins. Notoriously better on my left rein. So hold him up, rub his stride, hold him. I have to be quite honest here. If I rode this horse at home in our school with no people, he'd jump rubbish for me, absolutely rubbish. Claire watches him and she said, I think he's too old. And then you get people and he absolutely loves it, he does. So, think we dare go bigger with him now? Claire don't care. Do you know there's only one person that's going to get injured in out of us two, and that's me. It's the same. Christ. I'm not really sure he can jump that big, to be honest. Are you convinced about that? A bit of filling in so he don't go underneath. His head's quite low, you know, when he gets there. No, just one. Huh? He's not that big, is he? And it's the same principle. You work on it at the cross poles and you work at the little fences, and it's exactly the same principle now. He shouldn't think there's anything in that. See, he finds that quite normal, and in fact, he quite enjoys it. You know, if he's got a big ring and a good old gallop, he's a lot better horse than he is just dabbling about steady. We have to G Claire up a bit. She goes in the ring now at 500 mile an hour, and he's on fire he is by the time he gets to the first fence. I'm just going to have a walk a bit. He needs his breath, and I need mine, I think. Does anybody want to ask any questions? You can't all not have anything to say. Why are you holding her hand down? Anybody? No questions at all. All these people and nothing to ask. Okay, we'll have to go bigger then, Claire. I'm into unknown territory now. I should have gone bigger with the other one, not this one. Yeah, Claire's given me that look, you know. There's first aid outside. I think it's the biggest he's jumped for 20 years. Go on, I need a few questions now because I've worn my horse out, worn myself out. Jumping's, it's a funny subject. I would not do this at the end of the week. If I was going to teach, turning back and grid work and anything, I'd always do it at the beginning of the week because it doesn't always work for the best. You know, when you start teaching them, sometimes they get a little bit confused. Keep it small. So the good horses, once they get into a rhythm through the year, sometimes they go to a lot of shows without even having a jump at home. Different horses, but they definitely don't get jumped an awful lot. I mean, this horse went galloping before we went to Italy and pulled a muscle. And he had 2 weeks walking, and he went straight to Italy, and he won the first day. you know, the fitness once they're in a season is quite good. And older horses, it's mileage. You know, the young horses, we do a lot more grid work, playing about, but not just jump for jump's sake to teach them something. But, you know, with the older horses, they've only got so many jumps in them, and you have to keep them fresh. I mean, that's a lot of with the canter poles and things like that, is it's to keep them fresh, because if you just jump normal fences, like we've jumped there and with the chestnut mare in the end, if you just jump normal fences, they get bored. And so then they get lackadaisy. So all the V's and everything keeps it interesting, you know, poles here and poles there and keeping them straight. But no, definitely, if it's important, they perhaps have a jump going to a big show the day before. And then some horses like him, like he'll lie down all day tomorrow. So he would actually jump a whole day before the show, so he's nice and fresh for the show. So not loads of jumping, more with the young ones. And as I say, if you want to teach them something, or you know, the grid work, always at the beginning of the week, so they have a few days quietly to get over it, and then they're ready for the show at the weekend. Any more questions? Come on, we can't have one. Sorry? Loose jumping is one of my pet likes. I have a small indoor school, and we jump loose quite a lot because I am a firm believer. But when I say jump, we don't just loose them career around the school. We do exactly what we do here with poles around the corner, canter poles, V's, everything. So we do the grid work, but we do it loose. Some horses are very good. I mean, I have some that are phenomenal, and some horses are notoriously bad. And surprisingly, this one is rubbish. He's absolutely rubbish at getting astride. He doesn't stretch over the pole. You know, so with him, we wouldn't do a lot of high jumping. We do a lot of little pole work. You know, so he gets better and better and better. But it's really good for them. And if they make a mistake, it's their mistake. You know, somebody hasn't pulled them about, or you know, things like that. So I think loose jumping's really good. But as I say, there's a way to do it, and it's like everything else, calmly. You know, and so they enjoy it, sort of thing.